Alright. You already know what it is. You already know the channel. You beat the channel name. Um, Back for another video. And one that I didn't want to do, but it's being done. Um, as you can tell by the title, the armor video, and I come in with very, very bad news. My takeaways for the game are largely negative, so if that's not your steez, then don't watch now. But I think, in all honesty, after a game like that, there's nothing that can be taken away except negatives. Um, and I'm about 2 hours removed from the game. I left after the long-winded drive where Gus ran on 3rd and 7 to set up a field goal. After that, I left because that was disgusting to me, and that'll be part of my takeaways. So I'm trying to make this quick as possible. I mean, about 8 or 9. Number one, this pertains to my stadium. As you may or may not know, I'm a student at the school, and the student section seats are, I would say, about a third of the stadium, maybe a little bit less. Matter of fact, I'd probably say a fourth, maybe. Um, and I think gates open up around 4:30 ish, somewhere between 4:30 and 4:40. And I came about, I would say about an hour from kickoff, so probably about 5:30. And you go in the wrong gate, and you're waiting in a line of people. Okay, whatever. It's pretty unpleasant, but this isn't an Auburn problem. It's just an attendance problem or a people that attend problem. Hustling, bustling through. Seats fill up. The way the seats line up, people, at least when it comes to like the direct student section, not like the side of the student section, but the direct part that you ran into the jumbotron, people tend to fill up the lower bowl a lot quicker, which makes the front bowl, just based on depth perception, you really can't see seats in the front bowl. I think they should try to mandate people going up first, going up top first, so it looks like there's more seats down bottom. Other than that, trying to sit down, people standing in your seats. I don't know if this happens at every college stadium. I've only been to one college stadium, but it is frustrating to say the very least when you have two, three, four drunk sorority girls coming behind you, standing on your bench. I'm 5'10", so I'm like kind of up top. The girls are kind of short, so like they're waving the shakers at my head, and it was just overwhelmingly frustrating. That combined with the heat, it was horrible. Another takeaway, number two takeaway, last stadium takeaway. The prices for food and drinks here, horrible, ridiculous. They can get away with it in football, I guess, but it's maintained across the board, which is kind of annoying. The food isn't that good, so it shouldn't cost that much. Like I think I want to say it's $8 for nachos. $8 for popcorn, maybe $6 for nachos. They don't give you that many chips. It comes in a chip bag. The cheese, as I know, usually is very cold. Someone told me that their cheese wasn't very cold today, but I doubt it. Maybe the heat, just it being 127,000 degrees, heated the nacho cheese for her. I'm not sure. The price need to be better. And let's start actually talking about the football game. Number three, offensive line, god awful. Horrible offensive line, worse than last year in my opinion. When you factor in they have more experience now, it's just unpleasant to look at the offensive line do anything. They can't run block and pass block, and they look pretty bad in that too. Um, Someone told me the nose tackle interior was like 370 pounds for them. Tulane, that being, and it felt like he was 470 with the wheels of prime Warren Moon because he got in very often. They had a lot of edge pressure as well. Uh, I think it's more. I think it's usually right pressure. I don't remember every snap, but I feel like it's more right pressure. Um, Again, I'm not gonna call anybody out specifically, like in terms just to disrespect him, but Caleb Kim is just as bad, or yeah, he's pretty much bad. Just as bad as he was last year. The interior offensive line is just as bad as they were last year, and it's the same pieces. Um, is Kim bad enough to where like we should try switching up with the other dude that was also bad last year? No, I think he's as good as it gets here. Unfortunately, he's just not very good. And yeah, I mean they're horrible. After There was a tweet last week where Brandon Marcello, a beat writer, he didn't really even clown. He just said offensive line wasn't very good in the first half of last week, which they weren't. They were horrible, absolute poop. And one of the offensive line, I won't name his name, one of the guys quoted the tweet after the game and laughed at him because I guess the offensive line made it upon themselves to be better in the second half, which they were. They were better. Oregon was tired though, so I mean it's a misnomer. And just like in that sense, this today they were horrible in the first half. The only reason the run game became any better was because Tulane was just tired. I mean, we're going against some of the least talented front sevens we'll play this year. Imagine what we do against A&M. They're going to get eviscerated for all 4 quarters. So, moving on from that, the bow rollout passes. So, I believe it was actually the first play we had of the entire game was a rollout, which was successful, I believe. I want to say it was. But these rollout passes, with our horrible offensive like tackles, or not Prince Taylor, he's pretty good. But with our specific, sometimes he's good, sometimes he's not. But with just how inconsistent the edge blocking is, with how what we run on these rollout passes from what I see, you have usually the slot guy goes in or the outside goes, on a streak or go route, something 10 yards or greater, particularly. So with that being the case, it would seem more often than not you'll need about, I'd say 4 seconds minimum to get the play off, to get the pass off, to read the two options, to make sure the DBs aren't like baiting you or anything like that. And with the 4 seconds that it takes to seem to get the pass off, we're not getting those 4 seconds pretty often. Also, our guys aren't very good at creating separation. It's just a fact. Outside of Hastings, people here, again, not to attack the receivers, outside of Hastings, I don't think anybody here really creates separation very well. The route running isn't very good either. So we have a quarterback that his main ability is supposed to be just pure pocket passing, a little bit of running thrown in from time to time. But he's already showing that he's not very good at deciding when to pass on the run. He's proven that he's not very good at displaying touch when throwing on the run either. So you limit the field. You make him basically to beat an edge rusher one-on-one more often than not because, let's be honest, the tackles can't move vertically. So the edge rusher is just beating them off the block immediately. And then you're making them decide between two guys that can't get separation. So needless to say, the rollout passes are useless. I do have one more stadium thing related. It'll be very quick. Auburn's data/Wi-Fi that they have in the stadium is horrible. Again, I have no other college experience to put this on to, but Mercedes Stadium, both in Atlanta and New Orleans, has Wi-Fi, and I've never had really consistent problems with the data either. I don't know why we have this Verizon plug in the stadium, amongst other places, amongst the campus, and I'm not sure why it's so bad. It's inexplicable. It may just be student section, maybe, I'm not sure, but the data and Wi-Fi are both horrible. And going back to the earlier point, the receivers. So I would say the run blocking was very, very bad outside. There was horrible outside run blocking. They haven't been able to prop anything. That's Gus's. If he's not going inside, he's speed sweeping out there to the outside. I would say that I believe Seth Williams was called out for it last week. He hasn't looked good. Like the guys are actually outside. I think they were called like the Z receivers when I was in middle school. The Z receivers, the outside guys, have been horrible pass blocking. Canella, he's supposed to be like a tight end receiver hybrid. He's really not that great pass blocking. And then we got some other like smaller, skinnier guys out there at times. So it's been awful pass blocking. Not pass blocking, but run blocking. And as far as routes go, like I said, they're all just about bad. Guys who just don't. I'm not gonna put that on the receivers. I'm gonna put that on the coaching more than anything. As well as some of the the passing tree routes have been horrible with Gus forever. Now the running game or the running quarterback isn't employed here, so guys aren't sucked in to look at him, make sure he's not running. So they're just playing the route straight up, and they're horrible. Simple. Stidham came out and said that the passing tree was, awful for him. The receivers have said that it was bad preparing him for the NFL. I think Bonus has already said that the passing playbook we have here is already worse than that he had in high school, more simple, so to speak. And you can see it if it's not a go route and it's not a screen. It's what is it? We don't use the middle. We had one play over the middle and it was a touchdown, surprisingly, to Will Hastings. For having a bunch of just like short, speedy guys, not even short, but just speedy guys. Schwartz, Eli Stove, supposedly Matthew Hill. He had a drop. I can't believe that we got all this hype from him. And the first time he gets used, he has a drop. That's really amazing. And then sure-handed guys like Seth, supposedly Sal Cannella, McLean. Also, I was told we don't use guys up the middle at all. You look at LSU, you look at Alabama, you look at any team of worth, they always patch over the middle. We don't patch over the middle at all. I think it actually is like there's posts, tweets, whatever that show how little we use the middle in previous quarterback regimes. Gus doesn't know how to draw because you have to be able to draw up like passing routes to pass over the middle. And Gus doesn't know how to draw that to where it can create separation for the receiver. So he doesn't want to risk interceptions, I guess, so we just don't throw them. So in saying this, the receiver's not showing maturation. It's not just them not being able to show that they're better in terms of doing routes or catching the ball and this or that. The passing tree and coaching staff doesn't set them up to succeed either. I said also earlier, Bo doesn't have a very good touch. It's very evident when we look at the passing plays at times that there's guys ass naked open and Bo just can't get them the ball. He can see the field sometimes. Like if he's not just to see the field, sometimes he can do that very well. But his ability to just put touch on it, I haven't seen it at all really. And going 50% when you have quite a few open short plays. When Gus does draw him up, a couple of open short plays, going 50% or maybe even worse as Bo did, is endemic of that. He has to be able to throw with more touch. I'll put it on the coaching staff too. They have him rattled evidently. He doesn't look comfortable very often throwing the ball for entire drives because he doesn't really do that very often. So the combination of factors. I don't think Bo just has like bad touch innately. I do think that in high school he had better. He showed it a little bit better, but I'm not seeing on this level. And this is going to go in my last takeaway. If you have it to where the passing game isn't working, either from the receivers or the quarterback, I think you need to go with what you want to do anyway if you're Gus and just run the ball with the quarterback. He didn't do that with Bo today, and he didn't do it very often on the second half of the Oregon game. I just don't think he knows how to use a guy that's not just physically dominant. Because while Bo can run a little bit, half of it is Bo doesn't seem to want to run if he's supposed to be throwing the pass. He seems to either want to throw it or run it, but not really a good hybrid of both. So he has to be in design quarterback reads or design quarterback gives / reads. Keepers when I want to go with keepers. And when you have design quarterback keepers in the way Gus uses them, it's supposed to be a read option, but it's not really a read option. And with that slow developing play, it happens more often than not to where we just get blown up the line. So we're in a situation now where Bo, who's, if he were to be better than Joe in any kind of way running the ball, which I don't think there is a single way, he'd be on the edges. We can't run to the edges because of between the receivers and having them set up to be a read option, whereas slow time developing. We're not getting that out from Bo, and Bo just isn't running very much when he has a chance to on the pass either. So I think, to me, starting Joey going forward, maybe not going forward, but giving Joey an entire half to show that he has this offense under control in his own different way would make a lot of sense to me. I thought we said in this Tulane game because I thought Gus was better, but we didn't see him, and Gus doesn't look any smarter than he did. the previous years where he'd run one quarterback out and not develop a backup in any kind of real capacity. So that's my takeaways. And listen, based on what we look like tonight, just tonight in a vacuum, I would say we have a chance of beating LSU, Alabama, or Georgia, and we would probably be down 10 against A&M going to the end of the game. If I were to combine our performance against Oregon, I still say this is probably at best a 9-win team, and that's upsetting A&M. LSU, we're not going to stop LSU. The secondary, as it looked tonight, had routinely guys going behind them, guys being to create separation at the point of attack. The speed sweep didn't work for them often. I think our run defense is still pretty solid, all in all. On the edges, I don't think we look as good as I'd like us to be. I don't think we're not the number one defensive line. Again, it needs to be said. Clemson is once again better than us. I'm sure there's other front sevens better than ours. We're just not very good at completing sacks, and we're not very good at keeping the edges contained for an entire game. We haven't displayed that yet. And A&M's front seven is better than ours, if I have to be honest with you. So I don't think we'll be able to stop. Definitely able to stop LSU, and probably not Alabama either. Maybe Georgia if they came out flat on the run game. LSU's run game didn't look that hot either, but I don't know. Texas probably got up for that game front seven wise better than we did against Oregon, who is probably the fourth or fifth most talented running game we'll see to date this year. So yeah, I think that's just my takeaways. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.